in the EFF judgment touched the untouchables, the powerfuls of South Africa, and dared to suggest that there should be an amendment which is in the interest of the poor masses of our people. And then they climbed on her like a ton of bricks until she's here today. And the basis of that is that this was just some frolic of a mad black woman who just woke up one day and decided that the Reserve Bank should be nationalized, or all sorts of horror stories. So that's why we have to take it through bit by bit where this actually came from. Right. Now, I was saying, since we're on that topic, you are aware that the public protector was, shall we say, harassed or targeted by the Democratic Alliance from day one, from the day, even before she went into the office, before she knew the office address. So there was that hype and alabaloo. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I mentioned that she was under close scrutiny.
Mr. I just had yes. I think the rest you're cutting and looks like you are freezing. Are you back?
I hope so. Can you hear me, Chair?
Yeah, you're back now, yeah. You just said yes, and then you said something. Sorry, what was the rest of it?
Yes, I can't attest to the exact sentence that you were saying, apart from the fact that I know the PP was under close scrutiny from political parties.
Yes. No, fine. Yeah, you don't have to adopt all my, but something like that. That from the gist was really not so much in that. It's the fact that this happened, as I say, even before she set foot in the office. Correct?
Yes.
Right. And so we're going to demonstrate fully when the public protector testifies that that is really what all this waste of money and time is all about. It is in pursuit of those two things. Her harassment by the Democratic Alliance before she even started, which led to the Mazone motion eventually, and her work where she touched to the untouchables on the economic untouchables and the political untouchables in relation to other reports such as the CR17. Now, you know that the Democratic Alliance called her a spy, correct?
I know about the media reports and I know about the defamation. I don't recall, I can't remember where it came from, but from the documents I saw, there was an allegation that it was made in July or so, 2016.
Right. And you've already answered my next question, which was the labeling her as a spy by the DA led to litigation which went to various courts, correct?
Yes.
And that from as far back as probably 2017, after the initial scrutiny, that's what you call it, there were calls for her removal by the DA, correct?
Yes.
Right. And unfortunately, they did not have, the rules were not in place. In fact, that was pointed out in the letter that was written by Mr. Ngobeni, that the DA's ambitions could not be fulfilled without there being rules, correct?
Correct.
Right. Then around about 2019, the process, this was have been around the time that the chairperson here called her incompetent. There was debates in the parliamentary structures about the compilation of those rules and the need for rules firstly fashioned as a removal of the public protector and subsequently fashioned as removal of Chapter 9 institutions, correct? Rather, of heads of Chapter 9 institutions. Remember that?
Insofar as it's in the public domain, yes, I can't confirm that.
No, fair enough. Yes, I accept that. And ultimately, at that time, it was Mr. John Steenhuisen who was the chief whip, and he was he proposed a motion for her removal, and then it was withdrawn once they realized that it needed rules, correct?
Again, I can only assume that it was in the public domain. I don't have details to confirm that. I haven't looked at any records to say who was it, but as far as my recollection is, it's a fair narrative.
Okay, no, fair enough. I'm not saying you have intimate knowledge, but whatever the source, whether it's the public domain or whatever domain, but you are aware of that history, correct?
Yes.
Right. Then this ultimately led to, on the 3rd of, okay, if you don't know the date, obviously you don't have to comment, but sometime in December 2019, the National Assembly finally passed the rules, correct?
With that qualification, I don't know the date, yes.
Yes, okay, yeah, you can take it from me. It was the 3rd of December. That's fine. And then within literally 72 hours thereof, there was a motion of Natasha Mazzoni for the removal of the public protector. Again, you don't have to have counted the hours, but if you know broadly that shortly within a day or two after the passing of the rules, there was the first Mazzoni motion. You're aware of that?
Yes.
Then we, and this part you may not know, we wrote a letter, or rather, the Speaker of Parliament announced in the media that there was a motion to remove the public protector without even telling her. She just saw it. She was on her way to Mpumalanga, I think, and she saw that she was now going to be impeached. And then the attorneys and us, the team here, wrote to the Speaker to indicate that various things about the defects in that motion including the fact that it related to all these court cases and it could not be applied retrospectively. In other words, a motion for the impeachment of the public protector should deal with things that happened after the 3rd of December 2019. Otherwise, that motion, rather, those rules would be applied retrospectively. Again, you don't have to have read the letter, but do you understand the point I'm making about that objection? Thank you. Yes. Out of the blue, a Mr. Samuel came up with an affidavit, I think on the 10th of February, making allegations about this and that and the other of the public protector. And a week later or so, Ms. Mazzoni withdrew her motion and included Mr. Samuel's affidavit, and the retrospectivity problem was resolved. So that motion was resubmitted on the 21st of February 2020. Again, you don't have to know the date, but thereabouts. Let's, for you and me, let's say just before the COVID outbreak. Okay?
Yes.
Right. And then the second Mazzoni motion, which had purported to cure the issues we pointed out, then was the subject of litigation. And that's where I'm coming to now, to the topic that you and I are going to get into in more detail tomorrow. One of the, you know that then it culminated in litigation, which is in a way still ongoing, correct?
Yes.
Right. Now, one of the reasons, or one of the theories peddled in this commission, in this inquiry, and why some of us have been defamed and linked with looting and all sorts of things, is because that litigation, which then started as a result of what I've just told you, as I say, has been going on almost non-stop until today, or at least until the 24th of November, which I suspect might not be the end of it. Correct?
Yes.
And that it is that litigation that is probably the highest of the expenditures on fees that on your schedules, correct?
I think it's one of the highest. I'll have to check if it's the highest.
Yes. Well, it might even be the highest. Well, insofar as it is still ongoing. If there's any rival to it, it would be the Godan-related litigation, but we'll talk about that separately. I just want to talk about so those two are the let's call it the number one and number two in the so-called expenditure schedule, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay, we should have bought coal instead.
We hope the change will come soon.
Yes, we can still hear you, but or rather, we can still see you, but
Mr. Merwe, are you there?
I'm here, Chair. I see that you are in the dark.
Yeah, we are, and I think can we, Chair?
So that's fine. We'll just pause for a minute or two.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.